I mean, you can, have your little philosophies and theories on what makes it hard. Um, man, but at the end of the day, you got to go play. I mean, that's it. So sometimes maybe you can have your little thoughts, and maybe those turn into small excuses. We just got to go play better on the road. We don't need to complicate it. We have a formula that's, time tested and proven to win on the road. We're a good defensive team. We rebound the ball well. We can play in a high possession game, play in a low possession game. We just need to go play well, And I think a little bit, you get a little deeper in the year, you understand what you're playing for. I mean, we're back where we want to be. We're towards the top of the conference, but this is a time of season and conference where you know separation starts to happen. You get some teams. A lot of teams with 2 losses, 3 losses, 4 losses. But pretty soon, some teams stay at 2 or 3 losses. Some teams go to 6 or 7. So you start getting these gaps. So this is the time of the year you got to start fighting to make a move, and that's not always easy to do.
On the flip side of this, Stanford and Washington State played 2 of the best games of the season against you guys. There's always going to be a target on Arizona's back, but is there something more comfortable about these teams when they're playing at home?
Well, for sure. I mean, everybody plays comfortable home. Like, hey, for us, look at, for example, we didn't play great last weekend, and I didn't think we played great in the SC game. We got through it. Obviously, the UCLA game, we didn't play great, but I think it's certain places have more of a home court advantage than others, and I think one of the things that makes Arizona so special is some programs have followers, and others have fans. Followers can fall online, do this stuff, maybe show up at a game here and there when it's a big team. You know, Arizona basketball has fans, and you know, we have a winning mentality and a winning culture in the community and in our program, and our fans are one of us. And when you show up to play, a team like Arizona, you got to deal with all of us. And I think that's one of the places that makes this thing so special. And other programs might have their version of that, so it makes it tough on the road. You have to deal with, not only the guys on the court, and you got to deal with the fans. But at Arizona, our fans are one of us, and I think that's a great separator for our program.
Your players reflect that too, whether they are recruits, whether they're transfers, whether they're from the United States or not. How do they just adapt to that and immediately adopt that when they get here?
Well, obviously, in recruiting, you're trying to pick the right guys. You pick guys that you think will be a great fit for your culture, and then when they get here, we try to ingrain them in it. And our program is supported and built from the community through the university to our players. I mean, so there is that, and so I think that's a great thing to think about, that one of us mentality. It's all of us. That's what makes the program special. That's why people, I mean, I went home Saturday and was like, holy, whatever, we got to play better. But at the moment, I also understood it was a special moment, and gosh dang, our fans enjoyed the heck out of it. So I mean, they were there to be entertained, and they felt part of it. And I know this, they were part of it. I mean, if we weren't playing in McHale that day, we probably don't feel very good about the outcome of the game.
You had made mention after the USC game, and I think Ishad did as well, about you can't just expect there to be a foul call, that you got to play through it. And if that happens, that's gravy. But was there something maybe this past game with becoming more downhill and forcing it to actually get, like, the call has to happen by playing
I mean,
aggressive?
I don't
taking
know. Listen, I think we always play an aggressive downhill style, and downhill doesn't always mean driving. Downhill can be transition. Downhill can be through post play. Yeah, I mean, I think you want to put pressure on the charge circle. You want to put pressure on the charge circle, and then that forces situations. I mean, with my mentality, I'm always think I want to put the defense in as many foul or surrender scenarios as possible. Then obviously I don't control the whistle. The referee does. So then, hopefully we, create enough opportunities that you get enough calls. I mean, it's, and playing through fouls is part of the game. I mean, refs are great people, but they're not perfect. Coaches aren't perfect. Players aren't perfect either.
What do you remember from last year's road trip at the Oregon schools?
I remember I thought we got through the Oregon State game, and then, we struggled and didn't play good at Oregon, and so we're going up, and, Oregon State has played well at home. I mean, they beat SC there right after Christmas when SC had all their guys. I think they lost in overtime to Stanford. So that's our only two losses of the season at home. So, we know going in there, it's going to be a challenge. And then, Oregon obviously has a talented team, and it looks like Coach Altman's put together a really good squad, that seems to be playing really well together.
They've had a lot of injuries, but it looks like they have pretty much everybody back. Does that make it harder to scout them because it's only maybe the more recent teams?
I
We can see
mean,
what they're doing?
maybe, but we're familiar with, I think, most of their guys that were out. So, we know they're good players. And, at the end of the day, they were doing fine when those guys were injured, but you can only play five guys.
Mhm.
So, they're going to be in for somebody else that maybe was playing well. So we'll see it all plays out. But, we know there's going to be no shortage of talent, when we play Oregon on a Saturday.
Do you expect to see a lot of zone defense from those two teams?
Potentially, for sure. I mean, both of them have, some variations of zone in their arsenal. And, obviously we've been zoned a little bit recently. So, yeah, I mean, I expect to, you know, we plan on maybe seeing zone every game out, from here on out. I mean, that's how these seasons go, and we'll be prepared for that.
Do you have a one or two or three keys to attacking a zone?
I mean, for sure, score baskets, get offensive rebounds, don't turn the ball over. I mean, of course we have, plans and philosophies how we like to attack different defenses, but I don't know if getting in the weeds of it, really matters. And our philosophy is the same now as it was last year, as it was the year before, as it has been, as I've come up through college coaching. It really hasn't changed.
36-hour turnaround between leave the arena in Corvallis, walk into the arena in Eugene. Does that maybe condense the recovery, or what you guys need to do?
I mean, not really. These guys are fine. We're in the part of the season where, you're probably able to shorten practices a little bit, focus a lot on recovery, and the guys, they got to be amped up and ready to play. I mean, if they can't get up for games now, with what's on the line, they probably need to look in the mirror a little bit. So I'm not anticipating us, not being excited to play.
How was it on Sunday that KJ was the reason you guys, or on Saturday, sorry, that KJ was the reason you guys won the game? How has he embraced his role? Because you see some five stars come in and maybe want to stand out and be the star, but it feels like KJ has just really embraced his role in his program.
Well, KJ is a unique player, and I've really encouraged him just to tap into that uniqueness. I mean, his uniqueness is he can impact the game at both ends of the floor without a ball. He solves problems with effort and energy. Now, when he has the ball in his hands, for the most part this season, he's made a lot of really simple plays. He has a good feel for the game. He's unselfish. So I've just encouraged him to tap into those things. Don't feel like you're having a little success and now you got to take the next two steps to success and start scoring more points or things like that, because that doesn't always translate. Maybe it will at some point of his career, but for now, when he plays with great effort and energy, I mean, he's a heck of a basketball player, and he did make a significant difference in that game, and I was really happy for him.
Last question, Coach.
Just bring things up to Jay Johnson, former baseball coach, and goes. So sometimes you shoot it down and say things are so day to day, 18 to 22-year-olds. So Omar Ballo had a great performance at the free throw line the other day. They guarantee that will happen again next time. But what did it do for him, do you think, from a confidence standpoint? Just see the ball go through the basket.
Well, hopefully it'll build. I mean, I was, I obviously rewatch games here and there, and I was rewatching one this past week, and his free throw percentage popped up, and it was like 62%. So he's capable of that, and that was late in the season. So he just got to get back to that. And we don't make a huge deal out of it either way. We obviously work on it, and Umar spends time on it, and sometimes it takes a while to get the results you want. You just got to hang with it. So hopefully that's a case of that right now. Yeah.